Hi, my name's Becky and I'm a tutor here at Yoobee Colleges. Today I'm going to take you through a really quick tutorial on how to mask and blend within Photoshop. So I will show you this with putting a pattern onto a dress, but you can use this in many different ways. So let's get started. You'll see right now I have a generic picture of a girl with a blue dress, and also over in my layers I've got a pattern. Nothing too interesting, but it does the job for this. So first off, I'm going to want to put this pattern onto the dress. So I need to size it, make sure it's covering the whole dress. I'm just going to pull it down and then make it a little bit bigger. Now what you might think you'd want to do here is use your opacity tool to kind of show it through, and then maybe use your eraser to erase some of this out. That's not the best option. One, it's not going to look very realistic, and every time you use your eraser, you're making a permanent change you can't really come back from. So I always say avoid your eraser and use masking. And with masking, any mistake you make, we can just bring back in. So it is a very good skill that I use in most of what I do for Photoshop. So now I've got this sized, I can just turn this layer off so I don't need to look at it right now. And to do that, you just want to press on this eye. So that's nice and turned off. And now I'm going to work on this dress. So what I want to make sure I'm doing is just cutting out the dress and leaving the girl, because I don't want the pattern to be on her skin. So first off, I'm going to duplicate this layer, and you can do this by holding down, I'm on a PC, so I use the PC shortcuts, the Alt, and just dragging it, and you'll see I made a whole lot of copies. I don't need that many, so I can just delete any I don't need, or I could just keep them in case. So that's one way to duplicate. You can also right click on layers and duplicate through options there. So now I've got two copies. One's going to be my background layer with her skin, and one's going to be purely the dress, because I don't want to just cut out the dress and have it floating. So now I've got that, I'm going to work on this top layer here. I'm going to go over and I'm going to use my selection tool. I'm going to start off with an object select tool. Super easy. All I need to do is put a square over what I want selected. And Photoshop's amazing now. It's going to do a pretty good job at just honing in on one color. You'll see it didn't do it perfectly though. I've still got an arm and some legs in here. That's fine. It's got me started. I can now change it to a quick select tool, hold down Alt so it goes to a minus, and just take out anything I don't actually want selected. Up a little, and then if I take my finger off Alt, I can also add in anything extra. So this little bit to the side, a little bit over here where her hair is. Pretty happy with that. Like I said, because I'm using masking though, if it's not perfect, I can fix it up later because I'm not making a permanent change. So once I'm happy with that, I'm going to go down, right down here, and this is my mask tool. So once I press that, now it's cut it out. Because I have a background layer, you don't notice the difference, but if I turn the bottom layer off, you'll see that's what I'm left with, is just a rough cutout of that dress. For what I'm wanting, I'm happy to leave it there. I could fix it up, but I think for the pattern it's going to work well. Now I want to go turn on my pattern layer. So it's sitting right over top of the dress. Obviously at the moment it doesn't look too great. How I'm going to get this to work in is first I'm going to attach it to that mask layer, so just to the dress, and then I'm going to use some blending methods. So to attach it to that mask layer, I'm going to hover between these two layers. I'm going to hold down Alt until I get this little arrow that you'll see pop up there. Now what this does is mean that I can attach anything to this mask layer and it will effectively use that mask, so I don't have to keep making new masks. And pop, it adjusts it. If I decide later I actually don't want it, I can disattach these. Everything I do, I want to make sure that I can take it back if I change my mind, or if I'm working with someone and I go to a client and I show them and they don't like it, it's an easy reversal. I don't want to make anything that's too permanent because it can make it really hard in the long run. So now that's attached. I want to blend this in. So first off, I'm going to go to some of my blending modes here where it says normal. This gives you a whole lot of options. The best option I find for this case is to go down to color, and you'll see it's starting to work. It's looking realistic, but it's changed the dress to black, which is not what I want. I want this pattern on a blue dress. So it gives me a starting point. Then, to make sure I bring that blue back in, I can click on the pattern layer, right click, and go to my blending options. Now with these blending options, it will say blend if, and I already know you might have to play around depending on the color you're working with, but I want to bring that blue back, so I'm going to grab this here, and you can see starting to bring that blue back. I'll move it up a little bit more, and I'll just drag it across till I'm happy. That's looking pretty good. The blue's back. It looks like all the black's gone, but the pattern's still there. I just press OK, and voila, I've got a pattern on a dress. I've used some blending modes and masking, and it's looking pretty realistic. So there you go. Try it out with some fashion and then see what other things you can use this for.